Welcome to The Explainer. We literally just witnessed history. The 2026 FIFA World Cup, which was the biggest tournament in the sport's history with 48 teams, just wrapped up with an incredibly tense, grueling battle at MetLife Stadium. Today, we're diving straight into an analytical breakdown of Spain's historic 1-0 extra-time victory over Argentina. We're going to pull apart the tactics, the data, and all the raw emotion to understand exactly how La Roja claimed their second World Cup crown, and how they managed to completely neutralize the defending champions.
I mean, seriously, how do you keep arguably the greatest player in history, Lionel Messi, from registering even a single shot on target in a World Cup final? Well, in this explainer, we're going to reveal the exact tactical blueprint that Spanish manager Luis de la Fuente used to shut down Messi and the reigning champs. It was a defensive performance so complete that even former World Cup winner Toni Kroos took to social media to call it a win for football. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the 106th minute decider, Spain's masterclass in suffocating tactics, sweeping the tournament awards, their all-time defensive record, and finally, looking ahead to 2030.
Section 1. The 106th minute decider, the dramatic climax of a grueling 120-minute battle.
Okay, so going into this match, Argentina brought a very specific, physical, and honestly somewhat regressive approach. It was a strategy clearly designed to bully and frustrate Spain. For 90 minutes, it was just an incredibly gritty affair. Argentina was super aggressive, but Spain managed to keep their cool. Then, right as we hit extra time, the dam broke. In the 93rd minute, Argentina's Enzo Fernandez got a red card, dropping his side to 10 men. That was the absolute turning point. De la Fuente's master plan kicked into high gear. He brought on fresh legs like Mikel Merino and Nico Williams to stretch the field, and Spain pounced. Finally, in the 106th minute, substitute Ferran Torres found the back of the net, breaking the deadlock and sealing the victory. You could just feel the palpable emotion right after that goal. Ferran Torres put it perfectly, saying, "It was a goal scored by 47 million people. It was destined to happen. It was meant to be a winner." I really love this quote because it anchors all the heavy tactical data we're about to look at in pure, raw human emotion. Torres had taken some criticism throughout the tournament, but in that one singular moment, he found personal vindication and delivered absolute euphoria to his entire country. Even Spanish tennis sensation Carlos Alcaraz was feeling it, firing off this massive all-caps tweet instantly. It was like a collective exhale for a nation that had been waiting 16 long years to reclaim the title of world champions. The huge party at the stadium turnstiles, complete with the drums and the chanting, was instantly mirrored all the way back home in Spain. Section 2. Masterclass in suffocating tactics. The data behind Spain's dominance. This is where it gets wild. Led on the pitch by their captain and midfield maestro, Rodri, the data behind Spain's dominance is truly staggering. They didn't just beat Argentina, they put on an absolute clinic. Look at this. When Spain lost the ball, they won it back, on average, in just 10 seconds. They hunted in packs, instantly cutting down passing lanes. Argentina, on the other hand, took 22 seconds to recover the ball. That is a full 13 seconds off their tournament average. Spain literally suffocated Argentina. They just never let them establish any sort of rhythm or even breathe on the ball. And that relentless pressure leads us to this shocking number: 0. Going back to our question from the beginning, how do you shut down Lionel Messi? Well, you play this brand of swarming, unified defense. In 120 minutes of football, a full 2 hours of play, Lionel Messi and the entire Argentine squad registered exactly 0 shots on target. No way through, at all. Now, if you're thinking maybe Argentina just had a string of bad luck or poor finishing, look at this stat. They finished the match with an expected goals, or XG, of just 0.09, managing only 2 total shots super late in the game. The crucial takeaway here is that Argentina wasn't just missing the target, they were entirely dismantled. They couldn't even generate the opportunities to shoot because Spain's tactical structure kept them completely isolated from the goal. It's also worth noting that the impact of this highly anticipated final extended well beyond the tactical lines of the pitch. It actually became a focal point for global geopolitics, with different political figures and groups projecting their own allegiances onto the match. For instance, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly wished Argentina success. Conversely, Palestinian fans in Gaza, noting those political endorsements, criticized the move and actively cheered for a Spanish victory. It really goes to show how the world's biggest sporting event often mirrors global sentiments completely off the field.
Section 3, Sweeping the Tournament Awards, Recognizing Individual Brilliance in 2026. With a massive 48-team tournament giving us so much football over 6 weeks, individual brilliance was heavily on display, and the post-match ceremonies really proved who controlled this competition. Spain absolutely swept the major awards. Rodri took home the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player, which was incredibly well-deserved for his masterful control of the midfield. Unai Simon won the Golden Glove for his heroics in goal, and 19-year-old Pau Cubarsí snagged the Young Player Award for his remarkably composed defensive performances. Messi secured the Silver Ball, while the Netherlands took home the Fair Play Trophy.
We also have to take a quick detour to highlight this unbelievable achievement. Even though France exited in the semifinals against Spain, Kylian Mbappé won his second consecutive Golden Boot. He scored a staggering 10 goals in the 2026 tournament. That pushed his career World Cup goal tally to 22, breaking Miroslav Klose's long-standing all-time record and surpassing Messi's 21. And the truly terrifying part for the rest of the world? Mbappé is still only 27 years old. Section 4, the all-time defensive record, La Roja's historic defensive campaign. We've talked a lot about the final, but to truly understand Spain's 2026 victory, we have to zoom out and look at their entire 8-match tournament run. This was a campaign defined by historic defense. Navigating the absolute gauntlet of a 48-team World Cup, playing powerhouses like France, Belgium, Portugal, and then Argentina, Spain conceded only one single goal. Just one. Let that sink in. They set a brand new all-time tournament defensive record. Let's break down those defensive metrics a bit further, because this certainly wasn't luck. With Unai Simon in goal and Pau Cubarsí anchoring the backline, Spain secured 7 clean sheets in 8 matches. Simon went an astonishing 650 consecutive minutes without conceding a goal. Across the entire tournament, they allowed a grand total of only 10 shots on goal. That's an average of 1.25 per game. They systematically shut down every single opponent they faced by defending collectively as a unit. This final also represented a massive generational shift, beautifully captured right here. On one side, you have the 39-year-old Lionel Messi, who became the first captain to ever lead a nation in 3 World Cup finals. On the flip side, Spain's rising star Lamine Yamal became the first teenager to play in both a Euro and a World Cup final. We literally watched the changing of the guard on the pitch, an era ending for one absolute legend and a huge new chapter beginning for a rising star. Section 5. Looking ahead to 2030. The future of the FIFA World Cup. So, with the 2026 tournament officially in the history books, the footballing world is already looking forward, and the 2030 World Cup promises to be unlike anything we have ever seen. It marks the 100th anniversary, the centenary, of the tournament. To celebrate, it's going to be staged across 6 different countries. Opening matches will actually take place in South America, in Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay, to honor the tournament's roots, before shifting across the globe to its main hosts in Europe and Africa. It's an unprecedented, continent-spanning setup for sure. Which brings us to our final thought. We've just watched Spain establish a flawless, completely suffocating new blueprint for World Cup victory, heavily relying on extreme pressing and unified defense. At the very same time, we're likely witnessing the final chapter of Lionel Messi's World Cup story. So I leave you with this question. How will the rest of the footballing world adapt to Spain's tactical dominance before the centenary tournament in 2030? Are teams going to try to replicate this suffocating style, or will someone invent a completely new way to break it down? Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this deep dive helped you understand exactly how Spain conquered the globe.